Right, evening all, afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to this stream. Welcome to the Argus FX members. This is just for you, but the public may listen in, of course, on this new channel. So welcome to the stream. I'm going to have a look at what's going on very quickly ahead of the market open. We did get some news just now on PPI, and that came in pretty hot. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually just check that I'm working here on the other channel. Better just check. That seems to be running okay. Yeah, there we go, all good. All right, so I think we're good. Right, so the PPI number just came in, and it came in expected hot, expected the producer price index expected to be higher than previous and a little bit overcooked because of tariffs and the effect on inflation. But I'm looking at the numbers, you can't see them, but they actually came in better than expected, and particularly the core PPI came in at 0.1% rather than 0.3 expected, 0.5 expected actually. So really quite good numbers on the PPI, and that's good for risk assets, I suppose, in that the Fed might be more inclined to cut if there's less pressure on inflation. The true-flation numbers actually show that inflation has improved, got better, lower, much lower than the official numbers. So and they're normally pretty accurate. I subscribe to them occasionally. So we don't really know if the inflation numbers are right, but the PPI numbers have come in pretty low. And that would indicate that the next sort of following inflation numbers will be better. So that's the news that came in. And also, there was some other news on the ADP jobs report, and that came in pretty strong. So no pressure on jobs, but inflation perhaps ticking down as a result of PPI going lower today. So interesting. And the markets didn't really react to the PPI number as I opened my Red Bull. The camera seems awfully zoomed into me for some reason too. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so all of that aside, let's look at the markets. So first thing I'm sure you're all interested in, private group members, is natural gas. We've been talking about this today on and off as we've approached and dallied with the bottom of this falling wedge, which I've redrawn for the second time, now cutting off those bits in the middle, but touching quite a lot of lines. And if we look back in the past where this line comes from, as I said before, it's been a significant line in the past where we've actually taken trades from. Now look what's happened this morning. This is the 4-hour chart on the natural gas futures over at Black Bull. If you're interested in trading natural gas futures, this is a good place to trade them, by the way. There's a link below this video. And you can sign up under my ID, and I earn a little bit of commission from that if you do. Or if you don't. It doesn't really matter. Let me turn the volume down on this microphone. It looks like it's a bit over. Let me just listen. Or if you don't. There we go. All right, so natural gas on the 4-hour bouncing off the channel wedge bottom. And this is really, as I've been saying for about a week now, very prone to a short squeeze. We've been moving down in this channel and dribbling down slower and slower as we get towards the end of the channel in the apex, running out of downward momentum. And actually, finally, eventually, and I just noticed this morning, we got to, for the first time, we got an oversold RSI in all of the time that we were within this wedge. That's how slowly it's been falling. That's typical of a wedge. So it's a small fall off, a gradual descent into this wedge, getting squeezed into the apex of the wedge. That's what's happened, and we're bouncing out. We've still got some space to go, of course. And I did note that the bottom of this orange zone is what I've called the chop zone. Let's go back to the day chart. And you can see in this chop zone, we can get trapped there for an awful long time. It happened over there, that's a couple of years, by the way. Maybe not a couple of years, at least a year. September 2020, we only got out of there in May the following year. And here we got stuck in the chop zone for about a year, and here in and out for about a year. And we're back into the chop zone now. If I zoom right in, we're in the middle of it, in the wedge, and approaching the bottom, now bouncing off the wedge. There's still some space for this to go down. And if I draw this back on the 4-hour chart, you can imagine that if we don't, and this rally looks quite positive, by the way, but if we don't manage to sustain this rally, then it could look a little bit different. We may have to, let's find that little tool. We may have to then, come on, where are you? We may then have to sort of zigzag a little bit further and go even deeper, you know, into the bottom of this yellow zone, something like that. So don't be surprised if we don't actually continue with this rally that we've started now, and that we actually keep dropping a little bit further. Should we make that red or green? I think green. Ultimately, it's bullish, isn't it? So allow for that. And I said that the bottom of this could be around about 2.5, the bottom of the chop zone. But also notice, if I reset the scale, that there is further support slightly below there as well. Let's go back to the day chart. And we could actually probe, deeper, as we have done before. Over there, let's look at that, below the chop zone, and quite deep, actually, as low as down to the 200-day moving average, as low as 2.25. So I'm hoping that with the increased bid under natural gas because of increased demand overall generally around the world in the new economy that we're moving into, and also with the damage done to the South Pars gas fields in the Persian Gulf, that will, excuse me, also place a bit more of a bid under natural gas in general, not specifically. And of course, it's all weather dependent and, positioning dependent, depending on what people think. Markets don't move because of what actually happens, but because of what people think might happen, or what they think the result of what might happen is going to be, if you know what I mean. So let's zoom back into this. We're spending a little bit too much time on natural gas, but yeah, let's hope this is a bounce. Let's hope this is it, and that we don't have to do the green stuff that I've drawn on here, and that we could follow the bounce through the top of this zone. And as I keep on saying, 271, that's the ultimate goal to get through. And if we can get through 271, that's here, 272, around about that level there, basically, where we did try a couple of times, several times, and failed, and then ultimately through the top of that yellow block. So let's see. We've got a good start this morning. It's, Tuesday, the beginning of the week. Not quite, but getting there, or just past. And normally the beginning of the week is quite good for natural gas. It's the Thursdays and Fridays when we get the storage report, when things can go wrong. And Fridays, natural gas often just sells off just because it can and because it wants to. So that's it. We're still long. And if this candle holds, and it will complete in about, we've got some time to go still, about 45 minutes, actually at the top of this hour, this 4-hour candle will complete. And if it does so in this manner, I'll wait for a retrace. And I want to point out to you where, for private group members, it's good that you watch these videos. And if you don't manage to attend them live, it's good that you watch them later if you can and when you can, so that you don't have to ask the same questions inside the private group. So if you ask me later on, where will you be buying the dip on natural gas if it, when it dips at the closure of this candle? Well, I'll tell you right now, halfway back down to this previous swing low at about $2.61. So, a little bit of a pullback halfway back through that candle down to that previous swing low and a bounce out. That would be a good place to buy natural gas if you're not long. You heard it here first. All right, let's move along from that. And then WTI oil, with this blockade in the Straits of Hormuz imposed now by the Americans, it does a few things which are quite interesting, actually. And if I read between the lines, it seems like the general idea and plan is for the US to, this is a very vague idea that I have, but it's probable or possibly likely that there's a plan being made between Xi Jinping and Donald Trump to ship American oil across to China and take the need to use Iranian oil from, by the Chinese away a little bit, and increase the profits of oil sales to China. Imagine America selling loads of oil to China, perhaps one of their biggest adversaries in one sense. But, imagine China selling loads of other stuff to America and being dependent, Americans being dependent on Chinese stuff, which they are. So why can't, and maybe they want to pay in yuan and not, or Bitcoin and not US dollars, fair enough. Or maybe in rubles, whatever. But I think there's a plan afoot to get oil moving out of the US in production volumes that we haven't seen before and shipped elsewhere, perhaps to some former adversaries, and also cutting Iran out of the deal to a large extent, because to take dependency away from a tricky neighborhood, really, whether you like them or not. They're tricky to deal with, that's for sure. Now, oil has come down as a result of all of that, and I thought actually the blockade in the Straits would push oil back up again because it may restrict further flow of traffic through there, but maybe it won't. I'm not quite sure how the Iranians, as I'll use the American terminology, Iranians instead of Iranians, which is the correct pronunciation, of course. I'm joking. I'm not sure how they're going to respond. I guess we'll find out today because this blockade started about, I don't know, 12 hours ago. And we'll find out on the price of oil, but it is moving down. I wanted to sell more into the gap at the top there, as you will have remembered from yesterday's live stream. I wanted to sell into the gap or at the bottom of the gap. We didn't get to either. We didn't even get to the channel center line. I was eyeing that for a resell, an addition, but we didn't get it, unfortunately. But maybe we still will. We're not out of the quagmire yet. And if I redraw this channel now that now that we've sort of made a new bottom, I think we can. Oh, that's a good idea. Let's draw this channel the way it actually is now after all the spike ups and downs that we've had. And let's see where the channel sort of trades now. So you can see that looks more sensible. And we're right at the bottom of the channel, allowing for that spike down there to be an anomaly. That's where we bought on the last dip. So yeah, and you could also redraw it to include that wick if you wanted to, but that looks okay. We're at the bottom of the channel. We're below the 20-period moving average, below the channel center line, where I wanted to add some more. Didn't get the chance, but we have a decent chunk of short trades on this already, as you can see through my position clustering. Let's make this visible. So we got a decent chunk of shorts on already. We took profit on these longs, so we're only short now, and we'll see how we go. But I think this is going to be sideways to down, but not dramatically, something like that. Now let's go to stocks. Now, a fantastic, really big thrust out of yesterday's. This is definitely a breadth thrust. This whole thing here, from the bottom up to where we are, we're still long, and we've broken much higher above this, what was potentially a bear flag. So we can basically eliminate that. Apart from the fact we may have to retest the top of it now. Let's draw this along. So we've got quite high and a little bit too overextended. Let's have a look at the last time we had such a strong thrust. What happened? Look at that. There's the bounce, the strong thrust. But we did have to retrace quite a long way before we bounced out again. In fact, almost 61.8% of the way back, but at least 50. So we've had the big thrust now, right? And we're probably looking for a retracement back down about 50% of the way up. Something like that, remembering what happened here. And that little zigzag down will get a lot of the bears back excited. And that's exactly what happened. Everyone got bearish. Then we got another thrust out of that new bear move and eventually completed the breadth thrust and made a new high, broke through the triple top or double top and moved on. Are we going to do the same here? I think we have a good chance. We got another double top, a breadth thrust. We haven't had the retrace. We've got too much, it's just too far, too overextended. There's the 20 and the 200 and the 50 period moving averages where we got long last time. And maybe we'll get another chance just to get back long again. Maybe we won't stop at the top of the channel, but maybe we'll come back down, not quite 50% of the way of the entire move, but something like that, and give everyone a chance to get back in who didn't get long on that last dip where we did after the weekend dip and the gap down based on the news of the truce treaty not being, the deal not being no deal, basically. So S&P, NASDAQ is pretty much the same sort of story. If we look at S&P, pretty much the same. So that's it. We're long. And now I don't really want to go through long on Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Solana, and some of the other names, etc. But now I want to go into the short-term charts and look at what we've got. Now, we want to sort of have a look at a bit of day trading. Have we covered we haven't covered metals. I'm still long on gold. We added more gold longs this morning, actually, for the first time. We had been long on gold. We took profit at the gray arrow quite a long time ago now, heading for a week and a half. So we got long there and we got out there. And now I've just started buying new long positions back on gold here, right here, looking for this to break up. Now, it's a small position and it's an iffy trade, but we are above 2 key moving averages and we've got another couple of moving averages above us to get through. And that spike high that happened on the 8th of April, Wednesday, last week, almost a week ago. So can we get up through there and the 50-period moving average, which held us down? And it's also the 38% retracement of the entire move down from the top to the bottom. I think we can do that. And I think it'll surprise a lot of people if precious metals do manage to hold this support and to move up back up towards the previous highs that we saw with that massive rally earlier in the year. And I think silver, there go my dogs, Bobby and Harley. I think they've spotted a friend. And silver is doing the same, as you will know from yesterday's stream. Despite the fact that this looked wedgy, not wedgy, flaggy, and you know, we were short from the top and long at the same time. We took profit on the shorts. We still go that long, and now we've added another long position on. I kind of think, along with gold, that this has a chance. It's not the most exciting looking trade, but we are breaking higher ever so slightly and slightly above that little wick high that we, just before we bought. So I think, there's a chance. I don't think these are my most favorite trades. I'm more interested in Bitcoin, cryptos generally, and stocks at the moment, because these are roaring off, whereas metals are not really. But copper is. I'm talking about the precious metals, but copper is roaring upwards. And this is, again, as I said yesterday, my favorite trade, and the one that we're building a good, decent position on, with a long right from the 200-period moving average here on the day chart, going back to quite a long time ago as well, 20th of last month. We have another smaller position from up there. They're both in profit. And I may even add some more on if we break up through this green channel line and hold above it, and maybe those swing highs over here. I'm not too worried about that big spike high. I just want to get above this ledge. And in fact, we can draw a horizontal there and hold above it. So break above there, a retest from the top. It's quite a nice flat top. It's a very, very nice. Let's make it thicker so we can see it. And let's make it red. So once we can get through that flat top and close above it, like we did there, but we didn't manage to hold it. Now, can we do it again and hold it this time? That'll be a great signal to add more long trades onto this already good trade. So that's copper. I hope you managed to get some of that, and good on you if you did. We've talked about natural gas. We've talked about WTI oil. I'm not going to talk about any of that stuff again right now unless something really exciting happens. So if you didn't see that and you're coming in now, ask about, watch the videos. Right. Now, let's get to some of these greetings. Hello, Jabstar, JB Star. Hanging on for dear life, natural gas. Hope this is a proper reversal. Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out soon enough. Microsoft is looking good. MSTR will add with a hold above 150. Yes, excellent, Amit. Let's quickly look at Microsoft and MSTR for members, because we are in the market. And where's MSTR? Let's find it. Here it is here. This is looking great. I've actually got a nice position on here, and I'd like to add some more on to MSTR. And, let's see how we go. It's a front runner to Bitcoin. And if it can front run and by, really surging up today, I might add some more in Bitcoin too. But that's looking pretty good. And I don't know what happened to Microsoft. We did talk about KSM on Twitter, actually, and maybe in the live stream yesterday. This is an interesting uranium play. Check that one out. Go and do some research. KSM is the ticker. It's a uranium mining ticker. And I love this pattern at the end. We came all the way back to the IPO price and bounced out of it beautifully. And we've consolidated in a sideways manner. It only trades over the counter and on the Canadian market. So, if you don't have access to those stocks or those facilities to trade those, you won't be able to trade this. But if you are in Canada and trade the market, the Canadian names, or if you're trading the OTC market over the counter, you can trade this. But I wanted to look at Microsoft, MSFT. Markets be opening in 3 minutes, folks. So stand prepared for that. Let's look at Softy. And so I kind of like that one too. Just want to quickly have a look at one thing while I'm busy talking. And just double checking the average price. So yeah, where's Microsoft? Here we go. Yeah, so average price around about 390, and we're currently around about 390 in pre-market. So maybe a good time to add on Softy. And looking at the long-term double dip chart, I think at least if we're going to get a head and shoulders here, and that might align with, the timing of the rallies on NASDAQ and S&P, that we could get a sine wave head and shoulders. You know what that looks like? I'll show you. Not a head and shoulders, but a sine wave. Boom, boom, and boom, that sort of thing, and then the move down. And that could coincide really with the timing on, that's not very well drawn, by the way, but that could coincide with the timing of the markets and take us into, the next bounce. This should be much lower, something like that, into, towards the end of the year, basically, end of 2026 and into 2027, and then falling off, maybe not reaching a new all-time high on Microsoft. Maybe not, I don't know. But nevertheless, that might coincide with the market moves. But I think we could get at least back up to the shoulder line, which is this previous left-hand spike up at about 460. And, if we break and hold above that flat top, that would be good too. And then maybe Microsoft isn't going to double top it like that. And we'll break and hold above that horizontal line, roughly. That's not quite perfect, but something like that. Let's make that one black. So yeah, Softy's got a chance of getting right up into that zone, that black line. Let's get rid of this red one in the middle. Let's get rid of all of them, actually. So right up to that black line to form the right-hand side of a head and shoulders. I always say I don't like head and shoulders patterns, so I keep on telling you that, and then I draw them and preempt them. So that's Softy, Microsoft. Yeah, and that's, looking good. And here we go. Markets just opened, folks. Let's look at MSTR. Bounced up beautifully in that gap. We bounced from 132 to 137. Let's have a look at what else is going on. Dollar's still moving down. Didn't fill the gap on the dollar, and so that's still above us. But we are moving down, and that will continue to drive risk assets up, as we saw the PPI number coming down, not hot, but cold, which is also really good for markets. We're seeing NASDAQ move up, S&P, immediately moving up, and some of these names all ticking up. Let's have a look at the coin. Not doing much. But remember yesterday, Bitcoin took an awfully long time to get going. Everything else started moving first, and then Bitcoin only got going later in the day. So it's possible that could happen too. All right, so that's that. I don't know if you remember that, but Bitcoin just really lagged yesterday. And if we go to the short-term charts, you'll be able to see the effect of that. Now I'm going to have a look at these short-term charts because I'm trying to get into some day trades across any of these markets. That's Bitcoin, gold, NASDAQ, or natural gas. And the direction on the short-term day trading chart for all of these is, for Bitcoin, gold, NASDAQ is long, and for natural gas, it's short on the day trading charts. And that's given by the unique indicators I use to determine direction. And the entry into the market is determined by a combination of an oscillator being in the right position, and then a combination of price actions that I look for on the chart. So there's a bit of discretion involved, but most of it is actually fairly mechanical. There's a moving average, which determines direction, well, a couple of moving averages from different time periods. Then there's the basically the standard RSI. You could use different oscillators, which I often do, including the 14.3 stochastic. Actually, I favor that one compared to the 14-period RSI. But so that's it. So moving average setup, an RSI setup, or any other oscillator that you want, and then a set of candle triggers and patterns and movements and sweeps that take place on the 5-minute chart. If you'd like to be part of our private group, there's a link below, and you can join for $97 a month. Cancel anytime and restart anytime. I'd love to see you there. And we do a lot of this stuff in here. And all of the markets that I've been talking about before, this is the ad break, so I won't do it again. This is it. All of these markets that we've been talking about before, the dollar, Bitcoin, NASDAQ, S&P, gold, silver, oil, natural gas, softs and grains, copper, you name it. We trade these metals and commodities and stocks and Bitcoins and everything all day long. Come and join us in the private group. We're also doing some day trading. This session today is primarily for the private group, but I've made it public. So because we're trying to garner a little bit of support for this channel at the moment, and there aren't enough private group members who are in my time zone to be watching it simultaneously. Now let's look at these 5-minute charts. So in time, I'll start taking this off the public domain and leaving it for private group members only. but I'm trying to get people to be aware that we do still have a YouTube channel after being hacked. Right, so looking at these 5-minute charts, we wanted to get long on Bitcoin. I had a chance earlier around about over here, very early this morning in the start of the European session on that little dip and that massive rally up. But we did get another chance. It's too late now because we've taken off, but we have long positions on Bitcoin and our swing trades in any event. But for the day trading, the opportunity to buy Bitcoin was several hours ago during the beginning of the European session, and that has now passed. It's luck of the draw. You could trade this breakout if you wanted to. We have a flat top breakout. It's not the sort of thing I like to do generally in day trading. I'll do it in swing trading for sure. But all you have to do is put a flat top line across here. And when we break above that line, you get the entry trigger, right? And you're going to have to manage the size and the stops and everything yourself. But this is what I would do. Wait for the breakout, maybe even pretty sharp breakout, which can fool you in to getting into a trade up here somewhere, right? You see it moving up. You think, okay, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. Hang on. All right, it's going up. It's going up without me. I'm going to get long. And what happens next? We come all the way back down to the breakout area. You get stopped out, and the canny traders get long using the liquidity that you provided to build their positions. So if you are going to day trade this, wait for the pullback. And if you don't get the pullback, you don't get the trade. Don't take the trade up here at the top. Wait for the pullback. Or if you're really excited about it, and this is a beautiful triple breakout, flat top. It's absolutely beautiful. You don't get much better. And flat top breakouts, either to the top or to the bottom, if you're day trading, are often some of the most powerful opportunities you get to day trade because they're easily spottable. They're evident, like this is, right in your face. There's no denying it. There's no confusion, and there's no discernment needed. That's the line. And in this case, it's absolutely perfect. Maybe we've missed that first one by a penny, but we've touched these other ones perfectly. And so you could take the break. If you think this is a beautiful flat top, which it is, you could take the breakout the moment it happens, but be aware, you know what happens quite a lot. You get the spike up, it's a fake out, and it's Bitcoin. It does it all the time. And you get the fake out, and this is what is going to scare many of you. It moves up, boom, and then next thing it's down, right? And it's all over, and you get stopped out again. So no matter what this trade does right now, most retail traders will be stopped out. They'll either be buying up there and getting stopped out on the retrace before the real trade moves off, or they'll be buying up there and getting stopped out because they got in too early and didn't wait for the retrace and retest. So the best thing always is to wait for the breakout, retest, confirmation, and then take the trade. That could take the rest of the day or the rest of the hour or whatever. Don't be impatient. You don't have to be impatient with trading. And many of you, and including myself, and all of the things that I nag and moan at you about, I have done, and I still do myself from time to time. So I'm not pointing fingers at you. Now, NASDAQ is moving up again. There's no opportunity to get in during the, even in the European session here on the NASDAQ. It's been a steady climb. And if we look at this chart, as I said earlier on the NASDAQ, it's got to probably come back like we did on that last breadth thrust, right? This one over here. Look how we came back. It's really important that you take note of this. We massively moved up, all in one candle in that event. In our case, it's not just one candle, it's several candles, but same sort of thing. It doesn't really matter. It's the distance it traveled. We came all the way back to almost 61.8%, the lower 200 period Bollinger Band, before gapping up and continuing on with the breadth thrust move and then breaking out through the very tough to defeat double top here, which was the previous all-time high, and then got broken. And look at that double top breakout, right? That's exactly what I was talking about in the short-term charts. The breakout has not done the pullback. This is the problem. And we had a bit of an attempt at the pullback over here, but we didn't get all the way back down. So you may have missed out on that initial move. But let's zoom into where we are today. And I think at some point we've got to pull back. Don't know how far, probably to either around 25,000, big round number, and this channel top, or down to the blue line and the cluster of the 50 and the 100 and the 200 period moving averages. And that's at around 24,600. Or maybe we just carry on all the way up to the top of the green block before any retracements. Very tricky when the market gets going and you're locked out, right? And you wanted to be long, you didn't get long, or you're looking at getting long. You don't know when to get long because it's moving up. Look at MSTR roaring up as we're talking. All right, so get back to these short-term charts. No opportunity to get in. Maybe on this flat top breakout, let's watch it. Let's watch it together. We've got time. Let's watch to see if Bitcoin can do this and maybe take a trade. I'll take it along with you. If it because we're not going to get a chance on gold. Gold's moving up. Gold is now also broken out through its previous swing high on the 5-minute chart. Also not giving many dips down here to buy. So all of these markets are roaring up with great optimism and fervor after, America sent in its navy to block the Straits of Hormuz. America said they'll be selling more oil to China, maybe making deals with Beijing, and Straits may be opened, and PPI was pretty good, not too bad. Maybe interest rates can come down. Maybe the weakness in the economy and the poor GDP number of 0.5% will encourage the Fed to, to cut. And maybe the PPI number that's just come in gives them a little bit more opportunity to do so. I don't know. Who knows? But what we do know is that these markets are very, very bullish, and we may not get a chance. We may be locked out. I don't think so, though. And as I said to you on the NASDAQ chart and the S&P, for that matter, S&P is approaching its all-time high cluster already, and it's not going to get through there on first attempt. So how far is it going to come back? Maybe all the way back down to 6,700 and something. These are the dips that I want to be buying, folks. This dip. And I want you to watch out for it because it's probably going to come along. It may not, but it probably is. Look at the thrust that we've got going on here. Massive thrust. Everyone was bearish. That's the other thing. We've got breadth thrust. We've got volume across all the sectors. And we've got everyone who was bearish. Every man and his dog was selling NASDAQ when we broke down through what looked like, a flat bottom breakdown, which it was. But it was caused by news, and never trust the news. Like this, caused by news, tariffs, Trump tariffs, never trust the news. And that's what happened. But I want you to watch this, all right? After that massive thrust up to somewhere near the cluster of resistance above it, we stalled and came back sharply down to the 61.8% Fibonacci, and then moved on up. Let's see what could happen in this case. Let's do exactly the same thing and draw the Fibonacci. And we don't know where the top is just yet, so we'll find the top when we get there. But there's the 61.8% fib, and it's also the channel center line of this channel that we've broken out of. I think that's a bit too far to come back, but maybe we draw the fib from that low there. Maybe that's more reasonable, or from there, maybe that's more reasonable. And we come back down to the 618 around about this level here, and the blue existing trend line and the 200-day moving average. I think that's more likely, and I think therefore that we'll all get a chance to get back into longs on NASDAQ. I've set orders to take profit on the NASDAQ slightly higher up. I'm not sure if we've triggered that just yet, but we must be damn close. We're about 200. I think we've just triggered it. 25,800. I think our trigger was at 830. So maybe we'll still get there. So we're just about to, I'm not going to take profit. I'm going to hedge my position, and I'm going to lock in $1,000. We got in at 24. 800, not 600. We got some way to go. We got in at 24,800, and I'm getting out at 25,800 for $1,000 profit, which I'll lock in with a hedge. I'm not going to take the profit because I want to hedge it, ride the short back down, following the green path, leaving the long side on, and taking profit on the shorts down here, because I do want to be short and get the retrace profits as well. So pick up the retrace profits and add some more longs on here to join the existing longs, which are actually at around about the same price, to be honest. We got long in around about here. So we would be adding longs back in at the same price, more or less, that we got in at on the first place. And that all happens at about 25,800, where I begin to hedge. Well, not begin, I'll fully hedge. Right, let's go back to the short-term charts. And I hope this has all been useful, folks. I think we're going to draw this to a finish now, unless there are any questions on anything specific. But I just want to do, this is really, for those of you who are not private group members, come and join us. $97 a month, start and stop and cancel, resume anytime you want. It's well worth it, and you will save money and you will make some profits if you apply the principles correctly that we use in our trading. And you might want to follow some of my own trades. It's not a signal service, but I tell you every single trade that I take with real money precisely. So come and join us. It's $97 per month. It's quite a lot of money, but I'm sure you've lost a lot more than that in the past. I'm not going to mention it again. I did say the advert ran earlier, and now I'm running again. Oh, the reason I've just told you that is because this show that we're doing here right now is aimed at our private group members. So we're discussing things that we've already talked about, trades that we're already in that you're probably not in if you're not in the private group. This is all the stuff that we're doing in the private group. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, come and join us in the private group. Don't ask about things that you may not understand if you can't understand. So just I was talking about some of the questions yesterday that you won't understand what I'm talking about if you're not following our trades. Thank you, John. No worries, mate. KSM. I have no clue, mate. I don't know, Roby. You'll have to investigate it for yourself. I don't know where you can trade it. To all non-members, James and his team are excellent. Thank you, Roby. Thank you. After I told you to bugger off asking me about KSM, you still supported me. Thank you very much. Hanging on for dear life. All right, folks. I really don't know how many people watch the stream at all. It doesn't matter. It's not aimed at anyone apart from the members of Arcus FX. So, and in future, I'm going to put this up, of course, in the private group, the links and everything, so you can watch later. But in future, during the week or during the day really, and I'll do these videos, these live streams at the market open whenever I can, not every day, but I'll try and do it every day at the market open, the US market open. And we'll talk about trades that we've got on. We look at what's going on. We look at the short-term charts, try and do some day trading, which we can't do now. Just looking at Bitcoin. Damn it, we just missed it. All right, let's get on to this. Sorry. I was about to finish off. Now, here's exactly what I was saying, folks. There's the flat top breakout in Bitcoin. Now, what I'm looking for, and I told you what I'm looking for, and I told you, first of all, that you could have taken it on the breakout the moment we broke higher, risking the fake out. It has not been a fake out because we've closed above it on the 5-minute candle. So what we're looking for now is some sort of pullback. We may not get all the way back down to the breakout level, but we should get some pullback. And let's just wait and see when that occurs, right? It might not, maybe we just won't get it, but we're looking for something like that. Let's just draw that along. And that would be my entry point, as low as we can get it, really. Even a little bit back into below this level would be fine. So that's what we're looking for. But going to the day chart, you can see that's been quite a solid surge, and we're moving up into our take profit area or hedge area on Bitcoin. When we get up into that blob, I'm going to be hedging my Bitcoin and waiting to see what happens next. So instead of taking profit, I want to hesitate here rather than take profit. I want to remain in the market. And if this starts moving back down, I'll do the same thing as NASDAQ. I'll take profit on the shorts wherever it seems or appears to be turning around, and I'll get a little bit longer, and that will be again roughly at the same price that we got long initially at. And so this is the danger zone at the top of this flag. And if we do fail here, as I said said multiple times, we're going probably down into the 40s. And if I drag this fractal along from the previous similar move, which is over here, you can see it's almost perfect down into that zone. All right, almost perfect. And that means we'll meet up with the bottom of this channel. Actually, that's pretty interesting, isn't it? This bull flag that we broke out of, we'll be visiting the bottom of that bull flag again at around about May, the 3rd of May in 2026. That's this year. So a couple of weeks from now. Yeah. Right, let's get back to the 5-minute chart and let's see if we got that double dip opportunity. Not so far. So it's basically moving up. And once again, just got to look at my positions here. I've got some adjustments I need to make. Once again, yeah, so it's moving up rapidly now. All right, folks, I've got some position adjustments. I'm going to be watching this very closely, but I'm hoping we can get up higher than this. But 75 is also a bit of a resistance level. So if we do perform this sort of thing, it's possible that it's quite possible that this will be the top for now, and this will set off the trigger back down to 45,000 or 48,000. And I hope that isn't, because I'd like us to get a little bit higher. When you look at this on the CME futures chart, it does look like we've got to get up, at least up to about 77 or 78, and probably up into the bottom, at least the bottom of the CME gap, which has not yet been closed, and that's still there, and we're not too far from it now, actually. So that CME gap, the bottom of it is at about 79,000 and a half, and so that's a real price magnet, super duper price magnet, and everyone will have their eyes on it. Maybe too many people, but maybe just enough people, and we'll drive the price up there. So I'm going to hold on to this for a while and see how far we can get. And when we go back to this chart on the short-term charts, maybe we'll just get that bounce here. I'll hang around with you for another 5 minutes and just watch this. In silence. Maybe I won't. I want to get onto my trades now and make sure that I keep them in check. So I've got some fairly big positions on now, which I'm eyeing, as I said, on the NASDAQ, S&P, Bitcoin, all looking at sort of starting to hedge to lock in profits now. So I don't want to be distracted by this stream while I'm doing that. And of course, I want to let all the private group members know as well. So once again, come and join us. It's $97 a month. And for $97 a month, you too can become an Arcus FXer and make lots of money trading the Forex, stock, commodities, gold, and Bitcoin markets. Of course, I'm not making any promises, and I'm joking. That's tongue in cheek. But the $97 a month, that's real. Making money every month, not necessarily. That'll be up to you, not me. All right, folks. Well, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Hi there, I'm James. I'm the founder of Arcus FX. I'd like to personally invite you to join our 24/7 trading group. This is built for traders who want an edge. Inside, you'll get access to live calls on Forex, commodities, crypto, energies, and metals, along with exclusive daily analysis designed to unlock your trading potential. And this in both traditional and now in digital markets. I'm talking Bitcoin, crypto, altcoins, and tethered currencies. You'll gain early access to insider news, real-time updates, real-time support, and premium educational content. If you want to sharpen your skills and boost your success rate, then join me and Paul in this community. This is a fast-growing community of traders who are now writing their own success stories. So don't wait. Join up now. Your edge starts right here.